Hello and welcome to Herald TV News Bulletin with me, Orina. Congress leader Priyanka Gandhi Vadra arrived in Goa Monday afternoon with high expectations that the Congress will win in Goa. She recalled how her grandmother gave Goa the referendum, the opinion poll, and said, "Now with the same respect for your dignity that the Congress wants to hand Goa back to Goans." While promising to take all stakeholders into confidence on policies, she also made a strong commitment to preserve the environment and heritage of Goa.
While speaking at a public meeting in November in support of Congress candidate Aliso Sequeira, Priyanka promised 30% government jobs for women, working women's hostels in Margao and Panjim, and more women police stations. She also said Congress will come out with policies for buying land, for tourism, environment, and a policy against the movement of coal. She promised that after Congress comes to power in Goa, fuel prices would not be allowed to cross ₹80 per litre, and if it does, fuel would be subsidized.
In the Congress Party, we understand how important your heritage is to you, both natural and your cultures and your traditions. And it is from that understanding that many, many years ago, my grandmother conducted possibly the only referendum that was ever conducted in India, in Goa, to find out from the people of Goa whether they wanted to be part of the Maharashtra state or they wanted a state to themselves. And with that same respect, and with that same clear respect for your dignity, for your culture, for your traditions, the Congress Party today wants to hand Goa back to Goans. They talk about safety for women. And I have a fact here, a figure of 24% rise in crime against women in Goa. There is apparently a minister who in one of these cases blamed the girl for the violence that happened against her. And this is typical of a mindset that is unaccepting of actually what the truth is, and unaccepting of the fact that women are equals. And in the manifesto, there are a lot of nice things for women, which I would like to tell you about. I'm going to read it. In government jobs which will be provided in Goa, 30% of them will be for women. There will be a working women's hostel in Margao and Panaji for working women. There will be an increase in the number of police stations which are manned by women. And the SHGs will all get 1 lakh rupees of support for each SHG. And aside from that, there are many more things which are in our manifesto. One of them is that there is a Nyay scheme in which 6,000 rupees per month will be given to all the weakest families to help them support themselves. Local stakeholders will be involved in the tourism policy. Petrol and diesel will not be able to rise above 80 litres. The government will subsidize 80 rupees per litre. The government will subsidize the remaining amount. And there will be a strong commitment to protect the environment of Goa and to protect the heritage of Goa.
Later in the evening, Congress leader Priyanka Gandhi went on a door-to-door campaign in Fontaine near Panjim.
साउथ गोवा 3 आणि नॉर्थ गोवा ऑलमोस्ट 3 कॉन्स्टिट्युन्सी आणि आयज पयल्यार म्हाका दिसता प्रियंका गांधी पळोवपाकूच लोक कितले हांगा आयिल्ले. सकाळच्यान म्हाका आमी ऑलमोस्ट 6 मिटींग केल्या आनी सगळे मिटींग म्हाका दिसता चडान चड बायलां आसली आनी अशें दिसता की पेंजीम सीट सुद्दां आमी जिखूंक शकता, जिखपाक जाय आनी बाकीचे जे कॉन्स्टिट्युन्सी आसले ते जिखपाक सोदता. टायम नासल्या कारणान थोड्यांक मेळून गेल्या. 11 तारखेर आमचे राहुल गांधी येता. राहुल गांधी येवन म्हाका दिसता आमचे फूल हे जातले आनी आमी क्लीन स्वीप 32 सीट्स मेळटले आमकां.
एवढ्या मोठ्या व्यक्ती असतील पण एवढ्या डाऊन टू अर्थ सगळ्यांना भेटतात हे बघून खूपच छान वाटलं, आपुलकी वाटली.
तुम्हाला बँड पण दिलेला आहे,
बँड दिलाय. अभी लीला लाए लड़की हूँ, लड़ सकती हूँ। मैं
लड़ सकती हूँ,
लड़की हूँ,
लड़ सकती हूँ। मैंने भी पहुँचा।
Former Union Minister and present AICC senior Goa election in charge P. Chidambaram took up the issue of MPT authority of being a state within a state. On Monday, he congratulated Herald on its editorial, "It's an authority that Goans didn't want," for raising its voice against MPT being named an authority. He said the party would take up the matter in court if required.
P. Chidambaram said BJP is used to doing things that people are opposed to, and they do it using their brute administrative and political power. He also said that he will see as to why his own party MP from South Goa was silent in Parliament when the Ports Authority bill was passed.
I want to congratulate your paper on the editorial on the Marmagova Port Trust becoming a port authority. It's the kind of politics and administration that the BJP practices all over India. You do something which the people are opposed to. You do something which the people believe is against their interest. But you just do it using your brute administrative and political power. So let me congratulate you on your editorial.
In fact, our editor, Alexandra Barbosa, needs to be congratulated. Yeah. And I think it's important that we put these issues out before the public. And Herald as a newspaper has been fighting long and hard against this complete state within a state approach that the bill takes.
I agree, but we are totally opposed to it. And if we come to power
Mr.
and
Chidambaram,
go...
don't you think that your South Goa MP, who was in Parliament, did not kind of raise his voice to oppose the bill?
I read that in the paper. I don't know the stage of the bill. I don't know whether the bill has been passed to allow
It has been passed already. It has been passed.
Received the assent of the
Yes,
president?
yes, it has been completely passed.
I'll have to ask him. Yeah. You have asked him the question, and I'll have to ask him because I'm not aware. I'm not aware of the stage of the bill. I'm not aware.
The bill is absolutely passed. It's been notified as well, and which is why this authority has been made. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been made. This is after the notification of the authority.
Anyway, there is still hope to challenge the act, and I'm sure we will find ways to challenge the act in the courts.
Goa Assembly election 2022 is one of the most critical elections. Some have even billed it as a second opinion poll, where there is an appeal to save the soul of Goa and what it stands for. What exactly is the mood of the common man and women a week before the elections? People are looking for drastic change to break the cycle of money for jobs, votes for money and other malpractices. But mostly and importantly, they want all to come out and vote for clean and educated candidates.
Progress is what every Goan wants. From tackling unemployment to dealing with water issues, development is what they ask for.
सब चेंजेस मांगता अभी, मतलब ऐसा ज़्यादा अभी मुझे अनएम्प्लॉयड को एम्प्लॉयमेंट, जो बेरोजगार है उनको जॉब के लिए, पानी नहीं उनको पानी के लिए, ऐसा सब मुझे अब प्रोग्रेस मांगता अभी इतना.
So, has any candidate reached out to you yet?
घर पे, मतलब ऐसा मुझे कैंपेन भी ऐसा हुआ है, चालू है अभी. मतलब ऐसा घर पे भी आता है वैसा, कोकणी घराकडे भी तसे येतात सगळे जण.
So, will you be voting this elections? Yeah. So, do you have any message for other voters?
आतां म्हणल्यार फक्त कितें पयशे घेवन मारपाचें ना, म्हणल्यार तुका कोणाक बरो आसा कॅन्डिडेट कोण रायट आसा तेका करपाचें वोटींग. म्हणजे फुडें तो तुका हेल्प करतलो, फुडें कितें तुजें प्रोग्रेस करतलो, कामाक लायतलो, अशें खंय आसा तेंकां वोट करपाचें.
Having educated people who know how to develop Goa is another thing many seek. People who have great vision for Goa and its people should be the ones to get power.
Coming election, we want in Goa all over highly educated persons, those who know their vision and how to develop our Goa. पणजेन सगळे गोंयभर आमकां बरे शिकिल्ले भुरगे, शिकिल्ले MLA अशे निवडून येवपाक जाय. आनी पणजेन तर आमकां सामको बरो मनीस जाय आनी बरें विजन आशिल्लो जाय. अदर वोटर्स वोटर्सांनी बी हेंच येवजोवपाचें सगळे वोटर्सांनी अशें म्हाका दिसता की बरे बरे आपले कॅन्डिडेट तांच्या वाठारांनी तांच्या सगळे कडेन जे पळय रावतात अशेंच विचाराचे हायली एज्युकेटेड ज्याचे बरें विजन आसा आनी आपली जी एरिया सगळे डेव्हलप करतले अशें तांणी निवडून हाडपाचें.
Many seem to have lost interest in elections while some have lost faith in the candidates. With the faith gone, some of them will vote just because it's a rule.
तो जो अभी जो इलेक्शंस आ रहे हैं उसके बारे में आपका विचार क्या है?
हमारा विचार क्या है, अभी क्या चल रहा है मालूम नहीं होता, क्यों सबका गड़बड़ है सब पार्टी का. अभी कौन आएगा क्या करेगा हमको तो उतना इंटरेस्ट नहीं है. हमारा व्यापार हम देखता खाली.
तो कोई उम्मीदवार अभी तक आया आपको, किसी ने बोला कि मेरे लिए वोट कीजिए, कोई उम्मीदवार किसी ने?
कोई आया नहीं.
तो आप इस इलेक्शंस में आप वोट दोगे अपना?
देंगे तो है, पैसा खराब करने का नहीं, किसको भी देने का है, नहीं देगा.
तो जो बाकी जो लोग हैं जो अपना वोट देंगे उनके लिए कोई आपका कोई मैसेज वगैरह है?
नहीं हमारा कुछ नहीं.
तुका ह्या इलेक्शना वरवीं कितें म्हणप आसा?
इलेक्शनाक कितें आपलो कोण येवंक जाय तो येतलोच न्हू. इलेक्शनाक आमी आतां बाजारान बसताय पळय, एक फॅन ना सारको बाय, आमी उज्यान बसता, एक संडास सारको ना, ते कोण सारकें करिना. सकयल आहा ते वयर आहा चडोन वचोंक जाय, वयर हे थंय ते सायडीक तें सारकें केल्यार आमचें सगळें मांडलें न्हू. फुडें आमकां बऱ्याक पडटा न्हू जिवाक आमच्या आरोग्याक पसून. हे फॅन ना जाल्यार उज्यान बसचें पडटा हांगासर.
तूं ह्या वर्साक वोटींग करपाक हाय?
वोटींग आसात न्हू इलेक्शनाचे करतले आमी.
वोटर्सांक कितें लायक मेसेज दिवपाक सोदता दिवंक सोदता?
ह्या वर्सा नवो उमेदवार हाडून जाय न्ही, आमी पळोवपाक जाय कोण येतात.
A non-Goan builder who's having a massive construction project on Kadamba Plateau is destroying a 500-year-old heritage wall at Baingini by dumping mud over the wall. The 21-kilometer fortress wall is part of the walking trail and has a 25-meter buffer zone. This is part of the continued destruction of our priceless heritage, Glenn Cabral of the Save Old Goa Action Committee told Herald TV.
The 500-year-old heritage fortress wall at Bangini, Kadamba Plateau had horse stables in the vicinity. The fortress wall is 21 kilometers long and passes through 5 villages. This wall needs to be preserved for the posterity and for tourist trails, Glenn Cabral said.
तुम्ही पळयला आसतलें म्हाज्या फाटल्यान माती पडला आनी ओद्दी माती ऑलरेडी एक फोर्ट्रस वॉल आहा. आतली जी फोर्ट्रस वॉल ओल्डगोवाची 21 किलोमिटर वॉल आहा, 5 गांवांनी पास जाता. ही आमी 2 वर्सां पयलीं अशी तशी माती घातलेली, तेन्ना वॉलाचे तेंकोन घालतली. आमी तेन्ना इन्फॉर्म केलें पंचायतीक. म्हाका दिसता त्या टायमार पंचायतीन कांय एक्शन घेवना म्हणून आयज ती माती त्या वॉलाच्या वयल्यान घातलेली आहा. म्हाका दिसता तेजी माती काड जाल्यार वॉल मातसून ऑलमोस्ट डॅमेज जाल्ली आहा, कित्याक आमी लास्ट टायम दाखयलें व्हडले बोल्डर्स जाल्ले जे बिल्डरान एक्सवेट करून थिंगा उडयलेले. आतां ते वॉलाच्या वयल्यान इतले म्हणजे इतले प्रिजर्वेशन वॉल आहा. आमच्या रिजनल प्लॅनान एका वॉकिंग ट्रेल दाखयलेली आहा, 25 मीटर बफर झोन आहा. त्या बफर झोनाच्या उपरांत वॉलाच्या वयल्यान तेणी माती घातलेली आहा. सो पंचायत म्हाका दिसता खंय तरी पंचायतीक जे रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आपली रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी सारकी फॉलो जायना म्हणून आमची ओल्ड गोवाची तितले हेरिटेज सायट डिस्ट्रॉय जायत वयता. सो हे मॅटर आमी 2 वर्सां पयलीं इन्फॉर्म केल्लो पंचायतीक. तेन्ना पॅन्डेमीक जाल्ले, पॅन्डेमीक जावन मागीर परत आमी आनीक एक विजीट केल्या तेन्ना मागीर काडलेली माती, पूण आतां परतून स्टार्ट केल्ले. सो हेका दिसता म्हाका बिल्डर्स येता भायले येता, हो राजस्थानी बिल्डर कितें, सो हेंकां गोंयची हेरिटेज गोंयचे दायजाचे पडलेले ना म्हणून आमची हेरिटेज काबार सुद्दां सोडला. सो तुमी पयला आसतलें ते येद्यो व्हडले बिल्डिंगेक लागून तेणें आमची हेरिटेज काबार केली, जी आहा 500 वर्सांची पयलींची हेरिटेज, जी फोर्ट्रस वॉल म्हणटा ते. तुमी फाल्यां पयला आसतलें फाटल्यान एका हॉर्स स्टेबल्स आहा, गोडे बांदताले म्हणटा पयले. येद्दी व्हडली वॉल आसतना वी हॅव टू प्रिजर्व इट, आनी आमचे गोवोरमेंट आमचे पंचायत असले डिस्ट्रॉय करून पडला. हांव मागता गोवोरमेंट लागीं बेगीनच्या बेगीन प्रिजर्व करची, कित्याक आमी ही प्रिजर्व केल्यार आमकां लोकांक आतां हे टुरिस्ट येता तांकां दाखोवंक मेळटलें बाबा आमचे कडेन एक येद्दिली वॉल आहली, जी 20 किलोमिटर्स वॉल आहा, ती 5 विलेजींनी पास जाता. सो जायती हिस्ट्री आहा ती आमकां दाखोवंक जाय, कित्याक आमी आतां आमची ओल्ड गोवा वाठारान इतली हिस्टॉरिकल प्लेसीस आहा ती आजुनूय अननोन आहा लोकांक. आमी मागता ते गोवोरमेंटान बेगीनच्या बेगीन ते रिसर्च करून ते लोकां मदीं हाडचे, दाखोवच्यो. कित्याक तुमी आनी तशी एक जोर आहा आमची, ती जोर आतां सारकी मिसयूज जाला. जायते भुरगे येता गार्बेज डंप करता, तेजें कांय प्रोटेक्शन ना, कांय तेजें आमचे मेंटेनन्स ना, पूण आसा म्हणून आसा ती एक टायमार ती जोर आख्खे म्हणजे कोण म्हणटा पणजे पासून उदक पावयताली, पूण तिची आयज इतली कंडिशन जाल्ली आहा जोर ती काबार जावपाक पावलेली.
Now let's take a short break. Welcome back. The Save Old Goa Action Committee has called on voters to think and send home those responsible for destruction of heritage at Old Goa. They demanded that the illegal structure be demolished before the elections. The committee is digging in its heels and bravely continuing the protest against the illegal structure in the vicinity of St. Cajetan Church. The Say Old Goa Panchayat is meeting on Tuesday to discuss further steps towards demolition of the structure.
The show cause notice sent against the illegal structure by Say Old Goa Panchayat has been returned. Strangely, the reason given is change in address. The Panchayat has now pasted a notice on the house. Glenn Cabral of Save Old Goa Action Committee stated that now only volunteers are protesting at the site due to COVID restrictions.
Reporting आम्ही आता ड्यू टू कोविडाक आम्ही ते रिस्ट्रिक्शन केला लोकांक येवपाक सो आमचे फकत व्हॉलंटियर्स बसता हिंगा प्रोटेस्टाक सो आमचो एकूच डिमांड हा बिफोर इलेक्शन ही डिमोलिशन ऑर्डर नाल्यार प्रोसेस कंप्लीट जावपाक जाय ना लोकांनी चिंतूंक जाय जे कोण इनवॉल्व आसले हितून तांकां ते फुडल्या एका इलेक्शनाक घरा धाडपाचें आतां येता ते इलेक्शनाक घरा धाडपाचें इन केस ती ऑर्डर जायना तिणी चिंतून वोट करपाक जाय म्हणून कित्याक हे आतां हेरिटेज ऑलमोस्ट आतां हे एक इन्सिडंट आतां ओल्ड गोवा जायते हेरिटेज स्ट्रक्चर ऑलमोस्ट काबार जावपाक पावला अजून पासून आतां पंचायतीन ताका शोकोस नोटीस दिल्ली ती रिटर्न येयला सो तेणी तो पेस्ट केला एज ते प्रेमायसीर आतां ते 5 दीस जाल्ले आहा सो तेणी मंगळारा ही मिटींग काडलेली आहा आनी ते फुडलो स्टेप तो कितें घेतलो डिमोलिशन ऑर्डर काडपाचो काय कितें
पूण आतां पंचायतीन इतलें हें करून आजून पंचायतीक कितें कोती हाडल्या कितें रिजन दिला कितें
ते एड्रेस चेंज जाला म्हणून सो नोटीस रिटर्न येयली सो रिटर्न येवन तो लास्ट मंडे तिने पोतून पेस्ट केले वचून प्रिमायसीर सो ते आनीक 7 days दिला फ्रॉम लास्ट मंडे सो तेज्या उपरांत आतां ते नेक्स्ट ट्यूजडे तेणी मिटींग कॉल आउट केला पंचायत मिटींग आनी तेजेर डिसिजन घेतले फुडले डिसिजन
Story by William Rodriguez for Herald TV.
The Goa Medical College has set up the Therapeutic Plasma Exchange Center. Patients who used to usually travel outside the state for this treatment of plasma exchange can now get it done in Goa. Through this procedure, the plasma containing antibodies causing the disease can be removed. The patient has to go through one procedure for 2 to 3 hours and needs 5 to 6 such sittings.
Each plasma exchange procedure costs 50,000 rupees and the total treatment is estimated to cost 2.5 to 3 lakh rupees.
Where it selectively separates the plasma containing the antibodies and the red cells along with albumin suspension in saline is returned back to the patient. So selectively only the plasma containing antibodies which is causing the disease is removed. Now this type of cycle is repeated over a period of 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours, and it is repeated on 5 to 6 occasions. Now as far as the cost per procedure is concerned, it comes to around 50,000 for one procedure, and one patient requires minimum 5 to 6 procedures. So the total cost becomes 2,50,000 to 3 lakhs. Up till this time, this facility was not available in Goa. So patient used to be referred either to Bombay or nearest center was in Belgaum. But with the starting of therapeutic plasma exchange in Goa, this modality of treatment will now be available for various disease states which can occur in different modalities. For example, it can occur in case of neurology, such as acute Guillain-Barré syndrome, myasthenia gravis. In hematology, it can be used for thrombotic, thrombocytopenic purpura, hyperviscosity syndromes. Renal conditions, it can be used for Wood-Pasture syndrome. Then it can be used in certain hematological conditions such as myeloma, life-threatening cold agglutinin disease. In case of immunological conditions such as SLE. So in all these modalities, previously patients had to go outside Goa. Now with availability of this facility, patient need not travel outside Goa. It will be available in GMC.
Like GP syndrome, Guillain-Barré syndrome, it is the syndrome where there is a ascending paralysis. Like first the legs will paralyze, then your pelvis, then spine, and then respiratory system gets paralyzed. These antibodies keep on rising. So at that time only, if you take those antibodies out, then he may not require a ventilator support. So this is what we are trying to see that, and many a times when they go on ventilator, they have complications of ventilator. So you can avoid all these problems. One of the real achievements for Goa Medical College, in fact, we were very happy when we did it on Friday. We just wanted to make people aware, people of Goa aware of this facility.
A fruit mini pickup truck rammed into shops at Dhuler. The accident occurred at 5:30 am when the pickup was reportedly speeding. The owner of the shop said the shutters and some other things in the shop were damaged. He estimated the loss to be around rupees 4 lakh. The adjoining bar, owned by his brother, was also damaged.
सकाळी 5:30 सुमार जाला 5:30 शॉप आणि बार
आता कितके नुकसान झाले?
नुकसान झाले आता 2-3 लाख 4 लाख सुमार झालं नुकसान. सगळे घालचे पडटले न्हू पत्रे बित्रे शेटरा बिटरा भितरले इंटरनल काम सगळे
आणि सोरो
बी ते आसा. माझे शॉप आसा आणि हे बार आसा आमच्या भावाचे.
स्पीड ब्रेकर बी तुम्ही मागणी?
स्पीड ब्रेकर एक्चुअली गरज आसा. रातचे तुका सारखे फास्ट गाड्यो येतात. येता पळय 5:30 सुमार वॅक्सिडेंट जातो म्हणटा आपूण स्पिडीन ना म्हणून येता स्पिडीन डॅमेज जालो पळय आता. म्हणजे रस्त्यार चलपाचें सुद्दां ना आता.
ATK Mohun Bagan will have to be at their best when they take on league leaders Hyderabad FC, who will look to further consolidate their lead at the top of the table when the two sides meet in the 2021-22 Hero Indian Super League at the Athletic Stadium in Bamboli on Tuesday.
Now, ATK Mohun Bagan will have to be at their best when they take on the league leaders Hyderabad FC. Hyderabad are on the third match winning streak, sitting with 3 points clear of the second space against Kerala Blasters FC on the 26 points from 14 games. Ogbeche has been in the form for his life, scoring a brace in their 5-0 rout of Northeast United FC to take his tally to 14 goals this season, overall tally to 49 in the competition. Ogbeche will be aiming for his 50th goal and also helping Hyderabad in the process. ATK Mohun Bagan have good players in practicality and every position. They will play in the build-up and strong in set piece. We know that they have very strong team in the ISL. Will be very difficult news, says Marcus said. Hyderabad have scored 33 goals this season, the most they have managed in any of their Hero ISL season. Clinton D'Souza for Herald TV.
That's all we have in today's news bulletin. Thanks for watching Herald TV News. For more news alerts, please follow us on O Heraldo on Facebook and Twitter. Take care and goodbye.